Look at your hands. Every hour of sweat, every late night, every bit of your life you trade for a paycheck is being harvested by people you will never meet, in rooms you aren't allowed to enter. They've brainwashed you into thinking that inflation is just a natural phenomenon, like the weather. It isn't. It is a calculated, cold-blooded act of robbery. It's called the Cantillon Effect. And if you don't understand it, you are a willing slave to a system that views you as nothing more than a battery to be drained. This isn't new. Richard Cantillon figured this out back in the 1700s. He saw that when a new supply of money enters an economy, whether it's gold from a colony or liquidity from a printing press, it doesn't hit everyone at once. It has an entry point. And that entry point is the scene of the crime. In the modern world, that entry point is the central bank. The Fed prints the digital credits, and who gets them first? The primary dealers, the massive hedge funds, the government contractors, the too-big-to-fail banks. By the time you even hear that the money has been printed, the people at the top have already spent it. They've already bid up the price of the assets you were trying to save for. They've moved the goalposts while you were still putting on your shoes. Think about what money actually is. It's a claim on human time. When you work, you are trading a non-renewable resource, your life, for a currency that is infinitely renewable for the elites. The Cantillon Effect is the mechanism that devalues your past labor to subsidize their future gains. When they print, the value of the dollar in your pocket drops, but the value of the hard assets held by the billionaires, the real estate, the massive stock portfolios, the gold, skyrockets. Why? Because the new money is chasing those assets first. The elites get the cheap money, buy the world, and then wait for the inflation to hit you. By the time that money trickles down to your neighborhood, its purchasing power is gutted. You are literally paying for their wealth expansion through the rising cost of your own survival. Every single crisis, whether it's a pandemic, a war, or a banking collapse, is a manufactured opportunity to magnify the Cantillon Effect. They create the panic, they provide the solution in the form of trillions of new dollars, and they watch as the wealth gap explodes. Look at the last 5 years. Did the billionaires get poorer during the lockdowns? No. They saw the greatest wealth transfer in human history. Why? Because the Cantillon Effect was on steroids. They were at the front of the line for the stimulus and the bailouts, and they used that capital to buy up the competition while you were locked in your house worrying about the rent. It is a predator-prey relationship, and you are being kept blind so you don't fight back. The most dangerous part of this theft is that it's invisible. They've spent decades using the media and the school system to make you think that a 2% inflation target is healthy. Healthy for who? It's healthy for the debtor government that wants to inflate away its obligations. It's healthy for the asset owners whose portfolios grow without them lifting a finger. But for the man trading his labor for a wage, it is a slow-motion execution. You are being forced to run faster and faster on a treadmill that the Fed is accelerating. You're told that if you just invest in the 401k or trust the system, you'll be fine. They want you brainwashed. They want you believing that the rising price of a house is growth rather than the dying breath of your currency. There are only two classes in this world: the Cantillon insiders and the Cantillon victims. If you hold your wealth in their paper, you are a victim. If you trade your life for their credits and keep them in a savings account, you are donating your time to the elites. The only way to break the chain is to own the assets they can't print. This is why I talk about gold. This is why I talk about silver. This is why I talk about hard, tangible property. These are the only things that the printing press cannot dilute. When you hold physical gold, you are holding a strike against the Fed. You are saying, I will not let you harvest my time. You are exiting the trap. The transfer is happening right now. As you watch this, the purchasing power is flowing out of your bank account and into the vaults of the people who take advantage of your silence. They think you're too stupid to see the strings. They think you're too addicted to the convenience of their digital cages to walk away. Prove them wrong. Understand the Cantillon Effect. Stop saving in a currency that is designed to fail. Start acquiring the assets they are trying to keep for themselves. The robbery is real, the theft is total, and the only way out is through the truth. Protect your time, fight the machine. Imagine a thief who sneaks into your house every night and trims 1 millimeter off the edge of every bill in your wallet. You wouldn't notice it the first night. You might not even notice it after a month. But over a decade, your money has shrunk to nothing. That is the Cantillon Effect in action. But instead of a thief in the night, it's a suit in a boardroom. They are trimming the value of your life every single time they click a button to expand the money supply. They are taking advantage of the fact that you are too busy working to notice the theft. They rely on your exhaustion. They rely on the fact that by the time you get home from your 8-hour shift, you don't have the energy to wonder why your grocery bill just went up another 20%. This is a war for your sovereignty. Every dollar you keep in their digital system is a vote for your own enslavement. Every time you accept the narrative that a little inflation is good, you are swallowing the poison they prepared for you. The Cantillon Effect is the ultimate evidence that the market is not free. It is a managed plantation. The people at the entry point of the money get the cream. You get the curdled remains. You are working for a currency that is designed to reach zero value. Think about that. The very thing you are sacrificing your family time for, your health for, and your youth for, is a melting ice cube. And the people handing you the ice cube are standing in a freezer full of gold. They want you focused on the wrong things. They want you arguing about politics, about social issues, about anything that keeps your eyes off the ledger. Because the moment you look at the ledger, the game is over. The moment you realize that the money is being stolen at the source, you stop being a citizen and you start being a mercenary. You start looking for the exit. You start realizing that the only way to win a rigged game is to stop playing by the house rules. You move your value into things they cannot corrupt. You move into gold. You move into silver. You move into land. You move into the things that have stood the test of 5,000 years of human history, not the things that were invented by a committee in 1913. The Cantillon Effect is the secret engine of the elites. It is the reason why the stock market hits all-time highs while the soup kitchens have lines around the block. It is why the CEOs are buying super yachts while the average family is putting their electricity bill on a credit card. It's not because the CEOs worked harder. It's because they are closer to the tap. They are drinking the water while it's still fresh, and they are leaving you to lick the mud at the bottom of the well. This is the robbery of the century, and it is happening in broad daylight. Don't let them take one more second of your time. Don't let them convince you that this is just the way things are. It is the way things were built, but it is not the way they have to stay. You have the power to opt out. You have the power to demand real value for your real work. I am here to tell you that the cage is open. All you have to do is walk out. The money mercenary doesn't wait for a hero. We are our own rescue. The Cantillon Effect ends when you refuse to be the victim. Take action. Reclaim your life. You need to understand the psychology of the thief. The central banker doesn't hate you. He just doesn't see you. To him, you are an aggregate. You are a consumer price index component. You are a labor statistic. When they dilute the currency, they aren't thinking about the father who has to explain why they can't afford a vacation this year. They are thinking about the stability of the debt-based system that keeps them in power. They are sacrificing your family's future at the altar of their own survival, and they expect you to thank them for the 2% inflation that is slowly strangling your dreams. Stop asking for a seat at their table. The table is built on your back. The Cantillon Effect is the proof that the game is rigged from the start. You can't win by playing fair in a game where the dealer can change the value of the chips whenever he wants. You win by taking your chips and walking away. You win by becoming unrobbable. When your wealth is in gold, when your wealth is in silver, when your wealth is in skills and land, the Cantillon Effect has no power over you. You become the ghost in their machine. You look around you, every skyscraper in the city, every luxury development, every private jet. It was all paid for with the head start they got on the printed money. While you were saving, they were spending. While you were trusting, they were taking. The Cantillon Effect is the invisible hand of the state reaching into your pocket and taking 60 seconds out of every minute you work. It is the most successful scam in the history of our species because it uses your own desire for stability against you. They promise you a stable currency while they dismantle it in the dark. I've seen the way they operate. I've seen the spreadsheets where they calculate exactly how much they can squeeze out of the working class before the pitchforks come out. They think they have time. They think you're too distracted by the screen in your hand to see the chains on your feet. Prove them wrong. Break the cycle. Stop letting them harvest your life. The Cantillon Effect is the mechanism of your slavery, but truth is the mechanism of your freedom. Reread the ledger. Reclaim the value. The mission starts now.